Hello everyone, it's Social Club North time.
North.
The North. We remember. We do. Because we're continuing on our what's the word? Our mission to take the misery out of football. I wanted to talk about this Lukaku stuff that's been doing the rounds. So, you know,
Paul,
after the weekend.
shite.
Oh no, he's terrible, isn't he? The amount of Twitter was awash with it. He used the comment. He said he's like he's a leopard in the box after he broke his goal drought for Belgium. He scored 2 against Mexico. Wonderful. And what we've seen though, Ped, in the weeks leading up to this is like talk that Man United fans have been booing him and the pressure that he's under and he's not living up to the hype and blah 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 blah. Where has this come from? This is crazy to me because for me, Lukaku has started the season very, very well. Look, he's not started Harry Kane well, but Harry Kane is playing at a genuinely world-class level at the moment, and to fall slightly short of what he's doing should be no criticism.
Yeah, but he started it at a better rate than Harry Kane. Harry Kane didn't score in August.
Didn't score for the first 3 league games.
Let's not forget, he didn't score in August. So
Lukaku's got on a 4-game league drought. The big criticism of this is that the games included Liverpool, Spurs and Chelsea.
So, is it more to do with Lukaku or is it more to do with the way Man United set up against those teams? We may never know. But I said this at the beginning of the season. Man City are a team that need all their players to play well. They don't rely on one individual. Man United set their stall up that they were going to base everything on Romelu Lukaku, which is fine because you can play Romelu Lukaku every single game, but he will have periods where he will not score goals. And generally, when he played for us, he didn't score goals against the top sides. He went missing. But that might have been more to the way we played games. So it's hard to really put your finger on at the moment. Is it because Mourinho goes so negative against the big sides, or is it genuinely because Lukaku was just stopped scoring goals?
I guess the counter to that, Chris, is they didn't go negative against Chelsea. They went toe to toe with Chelsea, and you know that I don't know whether that's conclusive one way or the other. The other thing is people tend to level this like flat track bully thing at Lukaku like it's a criticism.
Yeah, it's praise when you say it about Mourinho and his sides. And yet, when you say it about Lukaku, it's levelled as a criticism.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, if he scores goals, he's consistently scored goals when he was at Everton, so far at Manchester United, West Bromwich Albion. You know, that's what he does. He scores goals. Strikers can't score and won't score in every single game. Ronaldo doesn't score in every single game. He's had a pretty poor start to the season, you know what I mean? Messi doesn't. Romelu Lukaku's a good footballer playing in a side that has set up during, September to not score that many goals.
Yeah.
The difference is at the start of the season they were smashing teams, you know. They get that goal ahead and then they take advantage of it and maybe get 2 or 3 and maybe even a 4th and Lukaku would score those goals as well. He's a good striker, he'll continue to score goals. It's ridiculous that the press have to do this. There's always somebody. You know, it was Kane at the start of the season, it's Lukaku now. There's always somebody they have to set up for a fall. Yeah. It was just his turn.
Yeah, no, like I say, I think the way it's been just kind of laid out. It's just we did this a couple of weeks ago, and we've done it over Red Men content as well about how there's got to be one manager in crisis at all times because we need to keep that narrative going. It's like a misery stick that needs to get passed around the managers.
It's not football, mate. It's everything. I was watching a video yesterday with I don't know if you watched Jonathan Pye, brilliant YouTuber, like pretend newsman. And he just said, like, we go from disaster to that disaster in everything at the moment, and you don't stop to like go, there was a shooting this week and there was the fire last week and you forget and they were only last week. And it's like that in football. It's just the newspapers and Sky Sports need to fill, and the betting companies as well, they need to fill every day with a story, and it's just one narrative to the next, and he's just the current narrative.
Yeah.
And once he scores one, then they'll go, okay, well, you're not the narrative anymore. Yeah. You won't fill a back page. We'll go to the next narrative, and whatever that'll be, it's Lukaku. But I think with Lukaku, I don't think it would arse him one bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem that he's not that kind of person, honestly. Take it from an Evertonian, he doesn't give a monkey's about anyone. Yeah. He's just head down, tunnel vision. He's going to score goals for his club.
He's going to end the season on 20 goals. 20
I think he'll get 30.
Goals. Well, listen, he's got 11 in 17 in all competitions so far, so he's bang on to get to get into the sort of 30ish bracket if Man United have a full you know, continues the European and Cup fixtures or
and
whatever going
possibly World Cup top goal scorer if Belgium have a good run, which will probably be on his shoulders anyway.
Yeah.
I just think that he's at a club now that is always going to get more public pressure, more media pressure. So that's fair enough. He's got to do that. But Mourinho's been saying the right things, and I think. But I think it's interesting as well because maybe Mourinho has to or potentially change Man United's style. I think, shall we go for it in more games? We've got this asset playing up front for us.
It makes you wonder if they had another option in that regard.
Well, they will have some.
Well, exactly my point is that if Zlatan was available for those games, does Lukaku, is it a horses for courses thing when he swaps him out and puts another striker in and we're not talking about it? In fact, or is the talk, he's been bombed out instead? Because you're right, it just feels to me like the press and people trying to drive clicks are reaching, and it's like they look around, they look around the managers and well, all the managers are kind of, everyone's just ended it reasonably well on wins. Nothing's too dramatic at the moment. Well, let's look around at the big summer signings. Which of the big summer signings aren't quite worth it?
If there was a problem with Lukaku and the price tag and all that, it would have surfaced earlier than now. Yeah. Because if he's a guy who went for what was it, 90 million quid in the end. I mean, they were waiting for the first few games of the season with a story about the price tags getting to.
As he mentioned, as Pep mentioned, the Harry Kane stuff. Yeah. Everyone was rubbing their hands together because Harry Kane doesn't score in August. Brilliant. Well, that's a talking point. That's a dead easy talking point now for a few weeks until he does it. And once he does it, it goes away, and we'll find something else. It's like he's a goal away from it being not an issue. Or hey,
isn't it boring though that this is all we've got to talk about in the Premier League? Yeah. Like there's no real big stuff. I want to know that. I want Everett kicking people in the face.
Well, we could talk about Trevor Sinclair getting done for drink driving if you want, but I'm not sure it's got the.
What about Leicester and the money they owe to the Thai government?
We'll wait for that to rumble on a little bit.
But you know what I mean? I want stories in the Premier League about like meaty subjects, not like he hasn't scored for 4 games. If that's the narrative of the Premier League, then.
But this is the problem.
God, it's boring.
Well, no, this is the problem, isn't it? This is where you've got October and November are the dullest months in the Premier League season because, and I've said this before,
people stop drinking. 2, they grow moustaches.
Well, exactly. Yeah. It's true. But all your pre-season optimism dies off, and you realise that nothing's won at this point. This is I call it all the time. This is the grind. This is the plateau. This is when it's like you've lost your new season optimism. It's not January yet for you to start focusing on transfers.
Hell yeah!
And the run-ins it's so long to go in the whole season, and so but all the problem is that you're set up for this. That's why we do talk about it in the time. We had like a daily news show on Redmen in the summer because there was stuff to talk about on a daily basis. It's gone out the window when the season started because there's just not that much to talk about.
We've still got ours.
Oh my God! Well, you're all right. You've been in a.
We just look at the odds every day. Who's the odds today? It's somebody else.
But exactly, and that's what this is. Just for me, is just a perfect example of this. Is where they're desperate for something to talk about, and there's nothing interesting about. So what's better than to play?
They wanted England to lose.
No, exactly. And they're playing it, but it's just playing into troll culture, isn't it? Because it's great. It just means that the fans of all the other top clubs get to turn and go, you've got ammunition to bat Man United fans around the head with for a couple of weeks until he scores, and then it'll be someone else, which other players next to have the problem, etc.
To be fair, it could be, the story could be, should Jack Wilshere be playing for England? It's not, thankfully. You know what I mean? So.
To be fair, he's been great. I've thrown my hand up and I have given him so much stick on this show over the years. Handbag dog that he is, but he's been terrific and he should be. No, but anyway, let us know actually in the comments what do you think the next the next click along the wheel is going to be? Which player and which team are set to be the next one?
Set up like a. Those things where you go, what month were you born in? What was your goldfish's name? And we'll just create a story out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Harry Maguire in a bakery with a dog. I don't know. that could be the next story. That could be the next story. I'm just taking 3 random things and I'm making a story.
Yeah, completely.
Or am I?
But this is it. We got the low. All the transfer bollocks is due to start up, and I'm sure we'll start covering that. We'll try and leave that for you. If you want us to start with transfer stuff, let us know in the comments. But if you want us to hold off as long as possible, also let us know, because it might inform content decisions going forward. Would you sign Patrick Evra?
Yeah.
What about Patrice Evra?
Yeah, his name's Patrick.
You know what? Yes.
Why?
You know why?
Well, obviously without the history.
No, but you know why? Just for all the people who are like, who've been tweeting pictures of Suarez celebrating and all that, just because for the Reds to blow up. And how do we react?
I'd love to sign
How do we react to this? Like,
it'd be brilliant.
He'd be good value on social media, wouldn't he? But the obvious answer is no, because I don't like him very much.
Because we've got Mourinho, lad.
Yeah, we've got Albion Mourinho.
Well, he got in that joint Man United Liverpool team, so.
Actually.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, let's know your thoughts.
What did he get in there?
I just felt sorry.
Top quality. Check that video out. Was that Adam McCullough's channel?
Yeah,
go
got
check out
Mourinho into a combined Man United and Liverpool 11. Ped got him in, basically.
The pointing of Jordan Henderson just didn't get him in, I'm afraid. I mean, it was
good,
but...
He's a solid pointer, mate.
He's a solid pointer. 7 out of 10 pointing.
Check out more content this week. We're going to do a video on why we fall out of love with England and whether we can ever rekindle that love. That's going to be going on my channel. Subscribe there. Subscribe to Toffee TV. Subscribe to Redmen TV. And of course, subscribe to Ball Street. If you love Ball Street North, let us know why in the comments below. And if you've got a deep-lying and weird distrust of Social Club South, that's perfectly understandable.
Yeah, that's normal.
I think it's fair. I think it's absolutely fair.
Just look at Rory's hair. Fuck's sake.
And occasional shoe choice. The lack of socks and the short jeans.
That's just weird.
The short jeans is what gets me.
Weird, that's just weird, mate.
Rolled up jeans. I don't pedal pushes.
Look, Batman socks.
I've got Superman socks.
Well, there you go.
Mine are just red and blue.
Crazy. Let us know below. Subscribe. See you soon. Ta-ra.